Hello everyone, today I'm going to share an acrylic painting with you that is inspired by the beautiful art style of Vincent van Gogh. I really enjoyed creating this piece and I'm excited to show you the process. So let's get started. So this is not an actual canvas, it's a cake base that I'm using for this painting. First, I applied a white layer to create a smooth surface which helps the color blending better while we are painting. After the white base got dried, I applied a light yellow acrylic paint in the center. As you may have already guessed from the thumbnail, this is going to be a sunset painting. Since the sun is focal point of the artwork, so I adding the soft yellow color in the center to create the glowing effect of the sunset. Next, I applied an orange color around the outer layer of the yellow paint to create a beautiful sunset effect. Here I am using a small bottle of acrylic paint that cost around 25 rupees. You don't need that exact same paint that I'm using. Feel free to use any acrylic colors you already have, whether they comes in tubes, bottle or paint set. The most important thing is to blend the color smoothly and enjoy every process of this painting. When I started to applying the orange color, I found the process really satisfying. There is something very calming about watching the color blending together on the surface. For me, painting feels almost like a form of meditation. It helps me slow down, focus on the present moment, and enjoying the creative process. That's one of the reason why I love painting so much. So this is a stage where we create a smooth blending between the yellow and orange color. I lightly dip my brush in a little water and gently blend the area whether the two color meet. Then I add a small amount of light yellow paint to help softening the transition even more beautiful. You can also add a small amount of orange where the red and orange meet to make the blending look more natural. Don't worry if you don't get a perfectly smooth blending on your first try. Blending acrylic colors take a bit of practice and with time you will be able to achieve a soft and seamless smudging effect like this. The key is to be patient and enjoy the process. Next, we can apply the red color on the outer layer of the painting. Just like we did with the yellow and orange color, blending the color carefully using a little water on your brush. This helps creating a smoother transition between the colors. By repeating this process slowly, the colors blend together naturally and create a smooth gradient effect. It may take a little patience, but the result is worth it. In the end, you will get a much softer and more seamless blending between the two layers. So finally, our background is complete. At this stage, it's important to let the paint dry completely before moving on to the next step, because acrylic paint usually takes some time to dry properly, especially when multiple layers have been applied. To make sure the surface was fully dry, I left the paint overnight. This helped preventing the color from mixing unintentionally and making it much easier to add the detail layer. Once the paint is completely dry, we can continue with the next part of the painting. The next morning, after the background had completely dried, I started adding the next layer of colors. First, I applied a darker shade of yellow in the center. As you can see, this create a nice contrast with the light yellow background that we applied early. Adding this darker yellow helps make the sunset glow look brighter and more vibrant. Layering colors is the way giving the painting more depth and make the center stand out beautifully. Next, I used a white painting to create brush stroke around the yellow area. While doing this, try to make each stroke in one smooth motion, starting from the center and following a circular shape all the way around. Completely, the full stroke helps creating the flow effect that is often seen in a Van Gogh inspired painting. That's why I mentioned earlier. For the orange section, I used red paint to add similar brush stroke. These layered strokes helps bring more movement and texture to the painting, make the sunset look more vibrant and dynamic. Next, I added black brush stroke to the outer area of the painting. You can make the stroke as thin or as thin as you like, depending on the brush you are using. A large brushes will create border strokes, while the smaller brushes will give you a finer details. It depends upon you what kind of stroke that you are looking forward. Here I am using the medium round brush. Don't worry if there are any gap or uneven spot while painting. You can easily fill them in as you continue adding the brush stroke. The beauty of this styling is that it doesn't have to be perfect. Each stroke adds its own texture and character to the artwork. So mistakes are okay with this painting. Not this. If you make any painting, the on my own thought, on my own experience, I used to said that mistake can always guide you make you perfect. So that's okay if you have any mistake. So here is the final result of the painting. I really enjoyed creating this artwork, and I hope you enjoyed watching the process as much as I enjoyed making it. This painting was inspired by the beautiful style of Vincent van Gogh, and it was a lot of fun experimenting with the color and the brush stroke. Thank you so much for watching my video and supporting my channel. If you enjoyed this painting, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. I will be back soon with another creative video. So see you soon and take care.